Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Therapy with Ari, where we explore the mind, the heart, and everything in between. I'm your host Ari, and today we're jumping into part two of a three-part series on how to become more attractive and desirable in your relationships. In the first episode, we talked about openness, how showing up authentically and letting people see the real you can boost both your confidence and your connection with others. If you missed it, click the link in the top right corner and check that out first. Each episode in this series builds on the last, and my goal is to give you three simple but powerful tools that you can start developing right now to improve how you show up in your relationships. In episode 2, we'll focus on a trait that I simply call positivity or general happiness. We'll talk about what I mean when I'm talking about positivity, what I don't mean by this, and how to cultivate the kind of positivity that draws people in and strengthens your emotional presence. So, let's dive in. It's so easy in today's world to find yourself feeling constantly angry, upset, or cynical. There's lots of good reasons to tell yourself why feeling negative is actually the correct way to feel, given all that's wrong with the world. After all, nobody wants to lie to themselves and pretend like everything's fine when it really isn't. We've all met that one person who takes positive vibes only to an extreme. Everything's amazing. They refuse to acknowledge anything bad, and it just feels kind of fake to hang around them. And that's because it usually is. That kind of forced cheerfulness, what we can think of as toxic positivity, usually backfires. It doesn't make people feel closer to you. It doesn't even make you feel better. It just adds a weird layer of denial on top of whatever you're actually going through. So, what's the difference between toxic positivity and the real thing? Well, the answer is very simple. Real positivity is a kind of mental posture that comes from a genuine effort to see the good and beautiful things in your life without ignoring what's bad. It's a state of mind that doesn't try to whitewash what's wrong, but rather focuses on what's right and good. Someone who is really positive is genuinely grateful for the good things in life, no matter how small, and continuously focuses their attention in that direction. Think of it this way: the more you focus on good things, gratitude, joy, connection, the more of those things you'll feel. And that's because that's what you're focusing on. It's what you spend your time thinking about. And that's not magical thinking, it's psychology. Where attention goes, energy flows. If your mental focus is always scanning for what's wrong, you'll end up living in a world full of problems. And here's the really interesting part: if you train yourself to see what's good, you create a different emotional reality, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you too. Your mood will literally lift up the mood of those around you too. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I don't have anything good in my life. And listen, I hear you. Some people are dealing with really difficult, even tragic circumstances. I'm not here to minimize that. What I'm saying is, especially if your life is hard, you need to work to develop this ability to shift your emotional state. Not because you're supposed to pretend everything's fine, but because without it, negativity will take you over. And once that happens, it's not just your circumstances that are difficult. It becomes harder for others to feel good around you, and you become someone other people don't want to be around. Not because they don't care, but because negativity is heavy, it's draining. The more negativity or difficulties in your life, the more likely it is that that negativity is going to push you down and make you a negative person. Think about the last time you spent time with someone who was deeply negative. How did that feel? Did you leave that conversation energized or exhausted? Did you want to spend more time with that person or less? Now flip that. Think about a time when you were around someone who was genuinely warm, optimistic, and grounded. How did they make you feel? Here's the uncomfortable truth: negativity is a repulsive force, even when it's justified. Negative people just create more negativity around themselves by pushing away anything that doesn't resonate with their internal state. Their energy is like a heavy weight or a burden, and anyone that comes close to them also starts to feel this heaviness and will naturally want to distance themselves from it. The more negative they are, the more strongly they repel everything good away from themselves. But the good news is that the opposite is also true. Positivity is an attractive force. If you can find a way to be positive and happy, even in light of something crappy that's happening right now, people around you will feel lighter too, and that will draw them to you more. Of course, that's easier said than done. Negativity is kind of like gravity. It pulls at you constantly. If you do nothing, you'll naturally sink into it. So choosing to be positive isn't passive, it's a daily discipline, a form of emotional strength that you have to develop just like a muscle. So start small and pay close attention to your internal state. Catch yourself in the little everyday annoyances. When you're stuck in traffic, when someone at work is getting on your nerves, just pause. Notice how your emotions start reacting, and then ask yourself, can I shift this? Can I soften my reaction even just a little? Can I accept what's happening without making it worse by spiraling into frustration or blame? This is what we call acceptance. It's not giving up, it's giving space. And that emotional space is what allows positivity to enter. And here's a little tip that might surprise you. Even feeling neutral in a moment where most people would be upset, that counts as positivity. It might not look bubbly or cheerful, but relative to the negativity around you, it feels calm, centered, and even uplifting. And that makes all the difference in the world. Another tool that I can't recommend strongly enough is the practice of gratitude. I know. It sounds cliche. Some people will even say it feels fake, but that's only because we've been conditioned to see sincerity as cheesy. In reality, gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you have for shifting your energy. It trains your mind to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong. And when you get good at that, your whole attitude changes. But you have to practice it, and you have to practice it genuinely and actually feel the feelings of gratitude. So don't just think about gratitude, practice it every single day. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Say thank you out loud. Appreciate the little stuff in your life and imagine the countless number of other people who don't have even the small good things that you enjoy right now. It really works. And over time, you'll start to feel the difference not just internally, but in the way other people respond to you. Now, before I wrap up, I want to clarify something that's really important. None of this means that you should suppress your negative feelings. Feeling sad, angry, guilty, that's human. And the problem isn't the feeling, it's what you do with the feeling. Those emotions have a purpose. They can point you towards something that needs to change in your life. They're not bad in and of their own. And disowning them in your mind will just lead to that sense of false personality that I discussed at the beginning of this video. You want to be aware of your bad feelings, but instead of letting them take over, you want to allow them to guide you into appropriate action. So let's say that you lost your temper and snapped at someone, and now you feel bad. Well, good. That means you care and that you have a heart. The trick is to not stay stuck there. Don't use guilt as a way to beat yourself up, or worse, to start rationalizing your behavior for why it was right to be mean to that person. Own your guilt, apologize for it, make things right. That kind of accountability, that's positivity in action. That's integrity. And that's deeply attractive because it shows maturity and self awareness. 2 traits that are in very short supply, especially in today's throwaway relationship culture. So, if you want to be someone who naturally draws people in, someone who makes others feel good just by being around them, work on cultivating real, grounded positivity. Stay present, practice gratitude, take responsibility, focus on what you can control. And if you do that consistently, you'll start to build what I call positive karma. Life has a way of reflecting back the energy that you bring to it. Thanks for watching episode 2 of Therapy with Ari. If you found this video useful, I would really appreciate a like, a follow, or a comment below. This is a brand new channel, and every bit of engagement helps me grow. I'm grateful you're here, and I hope you'll stick around for episode 3, where we'll talk about the final trait that increases your attractiveness: consideration and caring. See you soon.